That bag of rice sitting in your pantry right now? It was just tested by government scientists. And what they found should make every family in America stop and listen. In a 2025 investigation testing 145 rice products from stores across the country, every single sample came back positive for arsenic. Every one. 1 in 4 exceeded the FDA's own safety limit for infant food. And today, I'm going to show you the 8 brands you absolutely need to avoid, including one that charges premium prices while delivering some of the highest contamination levels on the market. Stay until the end, because I'll also show you a simple cooking trick that removes up to 60% of the arsenic before it ever reaches your family's plate. Number 8 is Trader Joe's, the grocery chain millions of Americans trust for healthier food choices. But here's the uncomfortable thing their marketing doesn't tell you. Their rice products showed up in the 2025 Healthy Babies Bright Futures investigation, and the results were not what their loyal customers expected. Brand name means nothing when it comes to arsenic. What matters is where the rice was grown. Trader Joe's sources rice from the southern United States, Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi. And this region has the highest arsenic contamination in the entire world. Why? Because for over a century, those fields grew cotton. Farmers applied 30,000 tons of arsenic-based pesticides to kill the boll weevil. That arsenic soaked into the soil, and it never left. Today, rice paddies sit on those same fields. The crops absorb that century-old poison with every harvest. Even worse, Trader Joe's doesn't publicly disclose arsenic testing results. They don't label country of origin on every package. You have no way of knowing what you're buying. Number 7 is Whole Foods 365, and this one is particularly infuriating. Whole Foods built a billion-dollar empire on the promise of cleaner, healthier food. Their 365 house brand is marketed as organic, affordable, safe, but when Consumer Reports tested rice brands, 365 Everyday Value long grain brown rice scored the worst of every brand in the study. Let me say that again. The health food store had the highest arsenic levels of any brand tested. Their brown rice came in at 195 parts per billion of arsenic. The FDA's limit for infant rice cereal is 100. If you made baby food from this rice, it would be illegal to sell in stores. And it gets worse. A class action lawsuit was filed against Amazon, which owns Whole Foods, alleging they sold rice products with dangerous levels of heavy metals without warning consumers. Independent testing found arsenic as high as 169 parts per billion. That's 69% above the FDA's safety limit for infant food. Amazon paid $13.7 billion for Whole Foods. They are a $1 trillion company, and their premium health food brand is selling some of the most. Number 6 is Amazon's own Happy Belly brand, and this one comes with a federal lawsuit. In May 2025, plaintiffs filed a class action against Amazon in federal court in Seattle. The lawsuit named 17 rice products sold through Amazon, alleging they contain arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury, and that Amazon never warned consumers. Independent testing found arsenic levels as high as 149 parts per billion in Happy Belly products. That's nearly 15 times higher than the EPA's limit for drinking water. The lawsuit claims Amazon either failed to test their products, or knew the results and chose not to say anything. Amazon's defense? They argued in court that the presence of heavy metals in rice is, quote, a decades-old well-known issue. In other words, everyone already knows, so we don't have to tell you. The case continues. An amended complaint with new independent test results was filed in August 2025. At number 5, Walmart Great Value, America's largest private label brand. Consumer Reports testing found Great Value rice contains arsenic levels between 150 and 160 parts per billion total arsenic, comparable to the national average for contaminated rice. Here's what makes this especially serious. Walmart's customers are often budget-conscious families with young children, and children consume 2 to 3 times more rice per body weight than adults. Their developing brains are far more vulnerable to heavy metal damage. Great Value rice is typically sourced from Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, and Missouri, the exact states with the highest arsenic contamination due to historic pesticide use on cotton fields. Walmart generated $648 billion in revenue in 2024. They have every resource to test every batch, label every origin, and source from safer regions. The people who can least afford the health consequences are the ones most exposed. Number 4 is Mahatma and Carolina Rice, both flagship brands of Riviana Foods, the largest rice company in America. Mahatma has been sold in the US since 1932. Carolina since 1927. These are legacy brands with nearly 100 years of consumer trust. In July 2025, a class action lawsuit was filed against Riviana alleging their Mahatma brown whole grain rice contains dangerous levels of arsenic and cadmium. Independent testing found 317 parts per billion of arsenic in this product. The FDA's action level for infant rice cereal is 100. This tested at more than 3 times that limit. The same test found 11.6 parts per billion of cadmium, a known carcinogen linked to kidney disease and cardiovascular problems. The FDA estimates more than 12 million children are currently exposed to cadmium in food at levels above safety standards. Riviana markets their products as wholesome, healthy, and America's favorite. They've built a brand on trust, while sourcing their rice from the most contaminated farmland in the country. Number 3 is store brand cinnamon and spiced rice mixes, and this one goes beyond arsenic. In October 2023, the FDA investigated cinnamon-containing products after toddlers in North Carolina developed elevated blood lead levels. What they found was staggering. Cinnamon in some products contained lead at up to 5,110 parts per million. That's more than 2,500 times above the industry safety guideline. It wasn't an accident. Investigators found evidence of deliberate adulteration. Someone added lead chromate to cinnamon to make it appear brighter and heavier to sell for more. By March 2024, the CDC reported 519 cases of lead poisoning across 44 states. The median age of victims, 2 years old. Products marketed as organic, additive-free, and kosher were poisoning toddlers. The FDA has since issued public health alerts for cinnamon from 18 different distributors, including brands sold at Dollar Tree and other discount stores. And many of those contaminated cinnamon products end up in flavored rice mixes. One product, Dixie Lily Parboiled Yellow Rice, tested at 36 parts per billion lead. That's 32 times higher than the average for regular rice samples. If you buy seasoned or spiced rice mixes, especially from discount stores, you could be getting a double dose, arsenic from the rice, and lead from the spices. Number 2 is Ben's Original, formerly Uncle Ben's, one of the most iconic food brands in American history. Ben's Original is owned by Mars Incorporated, the company behind M&M's, Snickers, and Pedigree. Their annual revenue exceeds $50 billion. Ben's Original rice is grown in Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas. These are the states with the highest arsenic contamination anywhere on the planet, nearly double the arsenic of California rice, and up to 6 times more than rice from Egypt or India. And here's the part that sounds like it's from a novel, but it's real documented history. When rice was first planted on those contaminated southern fields after cotton farming declined, the crops died. The arsenic in the soil was so concentrated it killed the plants. So agricultural scientists developed arsenic-resistant rice varieties that could survive in toxic soil. The plants absorbed the arsenic, but instead of dying, they concentrated in the grain. The grain that ends up on your plate. Consumer Reports testing found Ben's Original rice contained total arsenic around 200 parts per billion. It was included in the 2025 Healthy Babies Bright Futures investigation that found arsenic in 100% of samples tested. Mars Incorporated could source rice from anywhere in the world, California, India, Thailand. They have the money and the supply chains to do it tomorrow. Instead, they continue sourcing from America's most contaminated farmland. Number 1 on our list is generic, unbranded rice, bulk rice from discount stores, international markets, and warehouse clubs. Here's why this is the most dangerous option of all. When you buy a major brand, at least there's a company you can hold accountable. They have a reputation. They face lawsuits. There's a paper trail. Generic rice, often there is zero traceability. You don't know where it was grown. You don't know who processed it. You don't know if it was ever tested for a single contaminant. The 2025 Healthy Babies Bright Futures report found the widest variation in contamination came from generic and store brand products. One sample of generic brown rice from a discount store tested at over 240 parts per billion total heavy metals. More than double the FDA's limit for infant food. Generic rice is sourced from wherever is cheapest. That usually means southern US states. Or international suppliers with no oversight, where adulteration is common. Remember the cinnamon scandal? Products sold at Dollar Tree as healthy organic options contained industrial-grade lead. The same risk exists for cheap rice. The families most likely to buy generic rice are the families most at risk, low-income households with children. Immigrant families for whom rice is a cultural staple eaten multiple times a day. These communities face the highest exposure with the least information about the risks. That is what makes this number one. Now that you know what to avoid, here is what you can actually do. 1. Choose your rice wisely. California-grown rice, sushi rice, Calrose varieties, consistently tests lowest at around 65 parts per billion. Thai jasmine rice and Indian basmati also test significantly lower than US southern rice. Look for labels that specify California-grown, or show origin from Thailand or India. Avoid anything labeled simply, grown in USA, that almost always means the contaminated South. 2. Cook rice like pasta. This is the game changer. Use 6 to 10 cups of water per cup of rice. Boil, then drain the excess water before serving. This method removes up to 60% of arsenic. Pre-soaking for 30 minutes and draining before cooking removes even more. 3. Diversify your grains. Quinoa, barley, farro, and couscous were tested by the same researchers and found to contain 69% fewer total heavy metals than rice, and 28 times less arsenic. Swap rice for these grains several times a week to reduce your cumulative exposure significantly. 4. Protect infants and toddlers. Avoid rice cereal entirely for babies. Use oat, barley, or multigrain infant cereals instead. At least 5 states have already removed rice cereal from their WIC food assistance programs due to contamination concerns. Children's developing brains are far more vulnerable. Even small amounts can have lifelong consequences. 5. Avoid processed rice products. Rice cakes, crackers, and foods sweetened with brown rice syrup often concentrate arsenic in ways that can't be washed away. High-heat processing can create more toxic forms of arsenic. Whenever possible, cook whole rice yourself rather than buying processed rice products. The rice industry has known about this problem for over 25 years. The FDA has set limits for infant cereal, but set no limit whatsoever for the rice that families eat every day. Right now, more than 1 in 4 rice products on store shelves exceed even the infant food limit. You deserve to know what's in your food. Your children deserve protection. And the companies selling contaminated rice deserve to be held accountable. If this video gave you information that actually matters, please share it with someone who eats rice regularly. It could genuinely make a difference. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Our next investigation looks at another everyday food hiding a secret just as serious as this one. Stay aware. Stay sharp. Protect your plate.